the other 9 commission members. While the City Compensation Commission is what actually determines the salaries of all elected officials, City resolution adopted by 2/3 of its members in order to possibly reject a raise. Talks come after a 2019 charter provision changed commissioner salary to 50% salary and 50% attendance-based pay, effectively reversing a meeting per diem removal from 2003. A raise was rejected at the last compensation proposal in 2019, with the last approved change passing in 2017 after nearly 8 years of other rejected compensation proposals. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time 9:08.
Lehman's Green Apple Barn is celebrating their 36th annual Apple Country Craft Show Saturday and Sunday, September 11th and 12th. 45 local vendors will be featuring handmade items. You'll find crafters from woodworking, photography, sewing, doll clothes, holiday and garden decor, fresh baked goods, warm donuts, freshly pressed apple cider, kettle corn, concessions, and more. Check out greenapplebarn.com or visit on Facebook. Stop out to Lehman's Green Apple Barn Saturday and Sunday, September 11th and 12th from 10 to 4. Admission is free.
Powerball is now powered up. This gigantic jackpot game now has new double play, giving you a sizzling second drawing with a guaranteed top cash prize of $10 million after each Powerball draw. How about another jolt of fun? A third draw day to light up your week. Now Mondays too. That's double the chances to win 3 times a week. So plug into Powerball. We're talking big. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
WSGW News Time 9:09. 5 federal courthouses in eastern Michigan will fully reopen today for the first time since COVID-19 restrictions were put in place in March of 2020. Lawyers, news reporters, jurors, and court spectators will be required to answer questions about their health and have their temperature checked. Masks will be required. Courthouse employees who have not been vaccinated will be required to share the results of 2 weekly COVID-19 tests. The main courthouse is in downtown Detroit, but there are other federal courthouses in Flint, Bay City, Ann Arbor, and Port Huron. Door knocking throughout the Flat Rock community as 1,100 homes have been identified in potential need of evacuation following the identified fuel leak at the Ford Motor Company assembly plant. Although the leak has been sealed, efforts to mitigate the leak by flushing the sanitary sewer system continue. Residents are being advised to voluntarily evacuate. How long could this process take?
I'm told the sampling process for these levels of benzene that they're looking at in these homes, they're not going to be able to do 1,100 homes in one day. They're going to do whatever they can do, 20, 30, 40 homes a day.
Mayor Mark Hammond says it could take weeks before this process is fully resolved. A horse is attacked in a barn, and the 2 dogs blamed are set to be put to death. Here's reporter Jim Matthews.
The horse was attacked in its barn in Presque Isle, with the injuries so severe that the owner decided to euthanize the horse. Now the Michigan Court of Appeals has affirmed a decision to euthanize the 2 bulldogs held responsible. In a 2-1 decision, the appeals court says there's no evidence that any other animal had been in the barn with the horse. But in a dissent, one judge says they're not entirely convinced, noting that the dogs might have been fighting off a wild animal that had attacked the horse.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. For today, we'll look for plenty of sunshine. Showers and storms develop late with a high near 84. Tonight, scattered showers and storms can't be ruled out under partial cloud cover. Lows around 57 degrees with a stray shower possible late on Wednesday, otherwise sunny, and a high in the mid-70s. Winds will be a bit breezy out the west-southwest at around 10 to 15 miles. On Thursday, we'll look for a spotty chance of rain showers for the afternoon, otherwise clear with a high near 74. I'm Derek Dolman with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, 58.
Now, the only local radio talk show. Block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Lots to do this morning. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll talk to Representative Tim Beson. At 11 o'clock, the I Support the 1% Pantry. They have some big doings over at Kroger in Saginaw Township we'll tell you about today. But for the beginning of this hour, we're going to talk about Frankenmuth and something that may be coming to Frankenmuth. And to do that, we say good morning to the Frankenmuth City Manager. We say hello to Bridget Smith. Good morning, Bridget. Bridget, can you hear me? Where did Bridget go here? Are you there, Bridget? Hello, Bridget. We talked earlier and Bridget could hear me. Now Bridget can't hear me. Bridget, are you there? Hello, Bridget. All right, let's see if we can get that fixed. I don't know why Bridget can't hear me. We talked a little bit earlier and it was working just fine. Well, anybody got any ideas? Bridget, are you there? I'll tell you what, let's try resetting it and see what happens. Let's take it out and let's take her back and see if we can get this fixed. Now Bridget don't see Bridget at all. Okay. Well, this will be interesting. We have to figure this out, folks, because we had it working. It was working fine. Now Bridget's gone altogether. I wonder if her Wi-Fi gave her a problem. I don't know. Well, anyway, Bridget, call back or call the number 776. Well, you got the number, right? Give the number a call. Okay. Bridget is on the line now. I don't know what happened to our video feed, but we have Bridget with us. Bridget, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. I started out in the introduction saying that something rather significant in size is coming to Frankenmuth. Now, that in itself is not a surprise because lots of big things come to Frankenmuth. This one seems to be a little bit unusual for Frankenmuth as opposed to a themed park or something that relates to the heritage of the town. We're talking about an indoor sports complex, aren't we?
Yes, it's very exciting.
What brought this about?
Well, long before my arrival as city manager, there's been ongoing discussion about an indoor sports facility. It's probably a well-known sort of concept that parents always go above and beyond with their children, and so when it comes to youth sports and tourism, a complex like this really adds a new level of stability to our tourism market, and also provides us with space that a town people otherwise would never have access to.
All right, so I have to ask, and maybe this is just Frankenmuth, 230-some thousand square feet, 4 times the size of the Freeland Sports Zone, which is a pretty good sports complex. Why so big?
Yeah. Well, so this isn't just kind of a shot in the dark. We actually, the Downtown Development Authority hired a consultant who's in sports facilities to conduct a feasibility analysis. And one of the things that the study shows is certain size groups, to bring in groups not just from Michigan but outside of Michigan, need certain space needs. So in order to not just kind of cannibalize from Metro Detroit or Northern Michigan, but to really bring in new groups to Michigan, you need to have a facility of this size.
All right, so let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, if I'm correct, I saw the price tag at about $45 million.
Yeah,
And how do we pay for that?
You know, if I knew all the answers, we'd probably be much further along in terms of construction. One of to be quite honest, we are very early in the initial phases, but because of the ARPA funds, we didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk about the potential economic development impact that this could have. And there is already some commitment toward that $45 million, as well as we're in the early stages of developing this public-private partnership that could potentially open up doors for additional funds.
Is Frankenmuth in a position where they could go out and bond this if they had to?
Technically, yes. You know, Frankenmuth is in good standing. We have, a very solid financial base. We have a lot of room within our millage, but I don't think, ideally, we don't want to, use public bond money for construction.
There's no vote of the people required here for this, though. Then is that right?
Correct. So one of the things that is being proposed is kind of bringing together the city proper, the Downtown Development Authority, the Chamber of Commerce and Convention and Visitors Bureau, and access to some potentially different funds that all three of those groups have, as well as a private partner who's yet to be.
So, given the size of this complex, where will it be built?
It's going to be located on North Main Street, so right on M83, which will have some great access, and is a little bit outside of our traditional downtown, which should help with traffic management as well.
So it's the north end of town, then the far north end of town, really,
yeah.
When you think about it. Any time frame?
We're in the next 3 to 5 years. And again, for some of the people involved in this project, this has been a 15-year long, at least, goal. So definitely sooner rather than later.
And why now?
Well, there's always been, I think, a lot of local interest, as I mentioned, with this sort of project. But having a potential partner at the table brings a different kind of, it's not any longer just, local people who are very earnest and excited about youth sports and what it can do for our residents as well as for our economy. Now there's, a potential outside partner as well.
All right, hang on, Bridget. I have to take a break. We'll come back, talk a little more about it with Bridget Smith, the Frankenmuth City Manager. Art Lewis Show, sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, located inside the Point in Saginaw. New to the Point is Cafe 476. This is a new coffee stop, and they serve espresso, coffee, tea, bubbles, lemonade, smoothies, frozen yogurt. You'll even find my smoothie on the menu, the Art Lewis smoothie, listed on their smoothie memo. It's chocolate, banana, and pineapple. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And plus, delicious baked goods made fresh and local, donuts, pastries, danishes, just to name a few. Food items like their cherry almond chicken salad croissants, so delicious. And if you like them on Facebook, you can get updates on all the menu items. Stop in. Cafe 476 at the Point. If you wonder where the 476 comes from, it's where M47 and M46 meet off Gratiot in Saginaw. Also, don't forget, Linda Shepard is your realtor for all of your residential and commercial needs. Give her a call at 295-7713. Linda Shepard, Pinnacle Realty. We'll be back with Bridget Smith from Frankenmuth after these notes. And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to the Frankenmuth City Manager, Bridget Smith, about a new complex eventually coming to Frankenmuth, a $45 million sports complex. Bridget, let's talk, because part of what I read here was the word medical was included in the title of this complex. Am I to assume from that there'll be rental space for doctors in there, or what's the concept?
That's pretty much our concept right now, is that we would bring in a medical partner to occupy some of that space in a complementary way. Very similar to Freeland Sports Zone.
Except a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So what types of sports do you envision using this complex? Aside from the the usual physical fitness type sports complex, what's going to be in there?
So Frankenmuth has a great reputation right now for outdoor sports tournaments. We have a number of successful softball and baseball tournaments each year that sell out. And so this would be more court sports, at least in the rec facility proper. So things like volleyball and basketball. And then the proposed dome could host soccer, lacrosse, and even some winter softball, baseball sort of activities.
Will this be a membership type sports club, if you will?
We're not that far into the process right now as to whether or not it would have that sort of component. But one of the things that is proposed is an indoor elevated walking track. So making sure that there's, some kind of public component is important, especially with the city involved. If the city is going to partner in a project like this, we want to make sure there's a tangible public benefit beyond the economic one.
Yeah, us older types, this Freeland Sports Zone, the Y, they all have the Silver Sneaker program. Is this something you would envision coming into Frankenmuth?
I don't know if it would be that kind of program per se, but I do know we have a lot of walkers now. And right now, we try to provide some indoor winter space in Harvey Kern Pavilion for Frankenmuth residents to walk. We do know that there's a high demand for that, and we have an aging population, and so we want to make sure that we offer that kind of service.
All right, let's talk about a couple other things going on these days in Frankenmuth. First of all, the tourist health of Frankenmuth. Have we seen a resurgence of tourism?
Yeah, I think we have. We've been pretty busy the past several weeks. We've seen something we haven't seen clearly in a couple of years, more tour buses coming into town, which is a good sign.
Wow. Yeah, that would be a very good sign, because they had a really tough time. Let's talk about the elephant in the room for everybody, and that's labor. How is Frankenmuth doing finding people to fill the necessary positions in the hospitality industry?
Well, it's been a struggle, even outside of the hospitality industry. I mean, the city itself is struggling to find employees as well as other businesses outside hospitality and tourism. And we're hopeful that going into maybe a more normal fall, we'll be able to pick up some additional employees, and we're hopeful that if things remain stable and kids can stay in school, that will make easier for some people.
Yeah, curious of what a more normal fall will look like. I'm not sure what normal is anymore. It's a different world. It really has caused people to rethink a lot of things. I mean, I'm still working from home, and I've been working at home over a year and a half now. And no end in sight. Yeah,
it has. It's really changed the market. I mean, even in Frankenmuth. So we have a wonderful, vibrant downtown, but we're seeing people spread out kind of naturally. So our parks are getting more of a workout. People are spreading out their stay through time and space. So instead of, walking our dense downtown area, they're walking that area. They're moving further up the hill. They're going out into our parks and having picnics. And, people are most definitely adjusting in some creative ways.
And finish up with the federal programs providing money to communities. Will Frankenmuth see any of those federal dollars?
Yeah, we will receive about $570,000 to be used over the next 4 or 5 years.
And that can be used for everything except roads, right? You can't use it for streets.
Right, you can't use it for streets. There's a kind of a list of different qualifying activities. It's about $111 per resident is what the city receives.
Well, Bridget, listen, thanks for taking a little time to chat with us this morning. We'll watch the progress of the new sports complex as it comes into fruition down the road, and we'll talk to you again.
All right. It was wonderful to speak with you.
Same here. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bridget Smith, she is the city manager of the city of Frankenmuth. And we will take some time out here to take a break, and then we'll have open phones when we return. And let me talk to you about my friend Thalen Honda. A lot of car dealers are advertising, why don't you, come in, buy a car. We don't have it yet, but when it gets here, you can have it. Well, how about buying a car that's actually on the ground? Thalen still has some, and they have a huge inventory of pre-owned vehicles, and they are ready to supply your new vehicle or your pre-owned vehicle right now during Honda's summer sales event. You buy it today, you drive it today. And to sweeten the pot, there's 0% financing on select 2021 and 2022 models. Terms and conditions apply. In addition, the 2021 Honda CR-V Passport and Odyssey were named Best Car for the Money by U.S. News and World Report. And 6 2021 Honda models received the IIHS Top Safety Rating. Now, as I said, Thalen Honda has new and used vehicles, a huge inventory of used vehicles in stock, ready for sale. More vehicles coming every week. Stop in. They're located on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Look over their inventory, or you can go online to thinkthalen.com and see the inventory online. Then test drive the vehicle of your choice. Sit down with a Thalen Honda representative, strike the deal, and drive it home. It's that simple. Thalen family is in their 3rd generation of ownership, serving the automotive needs of the community for over 44 years. Stop in, visit them today at Thalen Honda, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. We'll be back with open phones for the remainder of the hour here on the Art Lewis Show.
Every educator out there is all hands on deck, and we're just doing what we need to do.
We have learned so many new tools on how to help kids, how to make sure that they know that we're there for them as well.
It's our job to protect our students, to protect our staff, to protect our community.
Educators are facing extraordinary challenges. Up in extraordinary ways to help students succeed. Keeping students and communities safe and healthy. Connecting with students in new ways. Maintaining their dedication to student success.
I'm a teacher. It's not just a job for me, it's my lifestyle.
I'm going to teach no matter what it takes for me to do that.
This new school year, let's celebrate these champions for education by telling their stories. Hear them at MEA.org. MEA, Champions for Education.
You wouldn't pass up 5% more time on the lake. Don't pass up on the potential to improve feed efficiency by about 5% when you feed Enogen corn as grain or silage, as shown in recent feeding trials at leading universities.
Oh, yeah, I got one.
With farm-proven results, you've got yourself a real catch.
Today was a good day.
Enogen. Energize productivity. EnogenFeed.com.
Start fall with everything to do business better during Dell Technologies Labor Day event. Save up to 45% on select business PCs with Windows 10 Pro. Power your workday with savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories, plus free shipping on Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Labor Day event.
You're a Stone Special Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. As I said, open phones in the Saginaw Bay area, 752-6111. Elsewhere inside the state of Michigan, 866-790-WSGW. Outside the state, call 989-752-6111. Whatever you'd like to chat about, we would be happy to talk to you on this Tuesday morning. Got to talk a little bit about Afghanistan because it's become really confusing. And what I mean by that is we've heard stories that say it's the Taliban that's holding up the airplanes from taking off. And then I've heard stories that it's the State Department that was holding up the airplanes from taking off. According to the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, they are in conversations with the Taliban to get those planes off the ground. Who knows? There are 100+ Americans left in Afghanistan who apparently want to leave and are having trouble doing that, plus all of the Afghans who helped us during the conflict and others. This whole thing has been a mess. Not handled well at all. The end game is fine. I don't have a problem with us leaving Afghanistan. I think we probably should have been out of there a long time ago. But it's how it was handled and who you put your trust in. Anyway, Paul is in Bangor, so let us talk to Paul this morning. Morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Morning.
Don't get me started on Afghanistan, so I won't talk about that.
Okay.
You were just talking about the new sports center in Frankenmuth.
Yes, sir.
There's one in Brighton called the Legacy Center,
Mm-hmm.
and we have grandchildren down there, and when they play tournaments, it's like a small city. I think they must have at least 8 basketball courts,
Mm-hmm.
soccer fields, baseball fields, just about anything you can want.
Indoor or outdoor?
And there's traffic jams coming in and out.
Indoor or outdoor?
Both.
It's
Like
a complex.
basketball's all indoor.
So, yeah, right. But
Yes.
soccer, yeah,
They
they
have like four big buildings,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to pay to see the games, and I suppose you have to pay to play there too. So that might be one way in which they would finance it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd have some kind of rental arrangements for various leagues and what have
It's
you.
called the Legacy Center
Mhm.
in Brighton.
Yeah.
The only thing I wonder about is the population is a lot higher there, I think.
Well, it is, and
Frankenmuth area.
that's an interesting comment because Frankenmuth, while it's a small population, grows by many, many times its size every weekend with tourism and during the week too, to some degree. This complex is an indoor complex they're talking about, and I imagine that it will attempt to bring in regional and statewide and bigger tournaments of various kinds, because Frankenmuth is a destination city. I mean, when you look at Frankenmuth as a city, you say to yourself, why is it there? But the reason it's there is that it was settled by the Germans way back when, and some very smart marketing people figured out how to market a town. And so a lot of what Frankenmuth does is not necessarily just for its own population, although they benefit, but much of it is to bring more people to town. And when they're averaging 3 to 3.5 million people a year, it's a lot of people.
I think I heard that it's the #1 destination in Michigan.
It bounces around. It's the number one day destination, certainly. And I think, it's been in a battle royal with Mackinac Island for a long time, but it's always up in the one or two. Yes, it is one of the biggest destinations in Michigan, undoubtedly. And it's an interesting town. I mean, when you walk around, it's an interesting place. You see a lot of things you don't see elsewhere. But their genius is in the way they market. Their genius is in the marketing of that town. So, be interesting to see what it looks like when it's finished. $45 million worth. All right. There you go, Paul. Thanks. Bye-bye now. And when you think about it, it is a plus for the region. It's a plus for Saginaw County, where Frankenmuth is located. It's a plus for Frankenmuth. It's a plus for the region. Anything that brings more people and more dollars to the region is a plus for the region. It's going to be interesting to see, how they pay for it. $45 million is a lot of money. And as Bridget Smith, the city manager, said, they're not really interested in going out and bonding it. They'd rather come up with other ways to fund it and not put the burden on the taxpayers. And they're looking at, maybe a 2 or 3 year time frame to get it done. It's a big complex. It is 4 times. For those of you in the area that are familiar with any of these facilities, there is something called the Freeland Sports Zone on M47, just north of Tittabawassee. And it is a sports complex. This complex that they're going to talk about in Frankenmuth is 4 times the size. 4 times the size of the Freeland Sports Complex. It's a big indoor facility. Will house a lot of different things. But, there has to be assessments as to the need. How well will it be used and received? How do you pay for it? All those things come into play when you're talking about a $45 million project, to say the least. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back. Lines open for you on the Art Lewis Show.
Small business owners know cutting costs without cutting quality is tough. How do you trim expenses without hurting your business? Easy. Get Spectrum Business. Call 888-489-2212. Switch to Spectrum Business and you can get the best internet and phone services for half of what you're paying today. Cutting costs can be easy when you get Spectrum Business. Just call 888-489-2212. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Oh, wow. I love what you've done to your kitchen.
Thanks. We did new sink and faucet.
Oh, it looks great. Did you do all the work yourself?
Oh, no. We worked with the remodeling department at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. They helped us select the right choice for us from their wide selection of countertop material, and we love it. We shopped around, too. Reamer had the best selection and the best pricing.
So, what's your next project?
Well, since we love our new kitchen, we plan to do the bathroom next.
Oh, wow.
This time, we'll go straight to Reamer. You should see all the new things they have for the bathroom.
Visit the showroom at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to see countertop and Corian, kitchen sinks made of Corian, stainless steel, quartz, swanstone, and cast iron, plus a large display of kitchen faucets from several manufacturers. One is perfect for your lifestyle and budget. Shop local. Shop Reamer. Go to reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, you know what we do. Try to make sense of it all and have some fun. Emphasis on having fun. Why do you yell so much? I don't know why.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, welcome back. The Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. But talk just for a minute. I had mentioned this to Bridget too. Talked a little bit about the labor issue, and we have help wanted signs everywhere. Everybody's got signs out. Well, this weekend on the 4th, which was Saturday, the supplemental federal unemployment insurance, the $300 over and above, went away. And since they paid a week behind, so this will be the last week people get checks with that extra $300 in it. And while we've talked about it a lot, and I've said that I think that we'll see a wave of people all of a sudden look for work, I'm not so sure that it'll be a big wave. And here's why I say that. 22 states up to this point had already removed the supplemental $300 from their unemployment insurance. And they only saw an uptick of job seekers of about 1%. It was an uptick, but it wasn't a huge uptick like you might expect. And there are probably a number of reasons for that. One of them, which is an issue, which is a legitimate issue, is childcare. And having, in this day and age of COVID-19, having your child cared for and protected and all of that is important. And with schools hit and miss, it seems, there's the issue of preventing some family members from going out and working because they have to worry about the child. Understand that. But there also seems to be a lack of work ethic, a lack of desire to go out and actually work. And I find that worrisome. Back to our phones, though. Jeff is in Mount Pleasant. Jeff, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Art. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, it's interesting, the work ethic part, because what I was calling in about is over at Tittabawassee and Bay Road. I was driving by there this morning, and, they pay people that have signs out for plasma. I have never seen so many cars out there this time in the morning. This makes me wonder if they're tied to people losing their benefits and, getting some money now. I don't know. Spain, I don't have
You say it's more traffic than what you? Are you saying it's more traffic than what you were accustomed to?
No, more cars actually parked over there at the plasma pit.
Oh, parked at the. I see what you're saying. Oh, I don't know.
Because they had signs out about how much money they pay,
Yep.
and there's a plasma shortage.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder if people are going there for money, rather do that than work.
I don't know. You can't do that all the time, though. I mean, it's supplement for $1 here and there, but you certainly can't do it to replace work. That's for sure.
No, you can't. But these signs, we're talking hundreds of dollars over there earlier in the week. Yeah, different note too, though, is this whole Kabul airport thing going on with the Afghan. We're approaching 9/11. They better be careful what planes they let fly out of there back to the U.S. and they better know what's on those planes. I'm
sure they've vetted. They've vetted all those people. They're well vetted. Yeah, they didn't let them on the airplane until they were vetted. The question is getting the planes off the ground. But I understand what you're saying, considering what happened on 9/11. Yeah. But and besides, those planes aren't coming. Those planes aren't coming to the United States. They're probably going to Qatar first.
Oh, they're not?
No, they're at drop-off points on the way. So it's
I didn't know that.
Well, some of them go to Qatar. Yeah, there's kind of a processing center in Qatar. So
yeah. Okay, well that's all I had.
Good enough, Jeff. Thanks. Bye now. Now listen, this the situation in Afghanistan. We're the outsiders now. I don't care what the government says they're doing and who they're talking to. They have no leverage or control right now. And what they're telling the Taliban is, well, you let those planes go and we'll think about lifting some of the restrictions we have on you and getting back to normalization of relationships and all that stuff. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. Speaking of the subject of tourist towns here, I was in Frankenmuth yesterday, and I've also been a few other tourist cities in Michigan this summer, and I've noticed they all have the same formula. And that formula to success is they have you, if you can park your car in the middle of town and then walk up and down the streets to each town on both sides, say within an hour's time, and you have the shops, the retail shops or restaurants on both sides, and on both sides of the street, up and down, you're going to have a successful town.
Well, only if those shops and restaurants are what people want.
Exactly. You've got to have what they want. Like in Frankenmuth, you park behind the restaurant there in the middle of town, and you walk up and down. You're going to see everything. And like in same thing in Tawas or Caseville, you park your car in the center of town, you can walk to everything.
Yeah, that's because
you
there's
park your car in the center of town.
Yeah, but they're small towns, Paul. Of course you can. They're only a couple of blocks long.
I understand that. But you take like Traverse City or you take like Houghton Lake, you can't park your car in the center of town and walk to everything. You have to drive to everything.
No, you can park if you can find a spot in Traverse City, you can park downtown and walk. But then ask yourself this: if you can't do that, if you can't do that in Traverse City, why are all those people going there?
Well, they have other attractions. They've got
more than just the
They have
downtown.
a beach. Yeah. They got winter sports and they got summer sports. Like Frankenmuth it doesn't have a beach or a lake. I mean, it's a shopping, restaurant, retail.
It's a theme town.
Novelty town.
It's a theme town.
It's a theme town. Correct. It's correct. And that's why they have such good success. You can park your car in the center and walk up and down both sides of the street, and you see everything.
Frankenmuth
walk back to your car.
Frankenmuth has good success because they know how to market their town. They are marketers.
Right.
Because before you can walk the streets, you got to
Good
get people
planning.
in town. And in order to get people in town, you have to
Right.
tell them about your town. And they're good at it.
Right.
So,
And then they have the horse and buggies. They got
they got all. I know they got all of that, but they got to market it, and that's what they
They got
do
all that.
extremely well.
Yep.
All right, I got to run.
Yes,
All right,
do.
Paul. Thanks. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye bye now.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Next hour. Next hour, we're going to talk to Representative Tim Beson up front, and then we'll have more open phones. And at 11 o'clock, I support the 1% food pantry for veterans. And they are collecting food today at Kroger. We'll find out more about that on Focus. Meantime, let's take our last break, and then we'll be back to close out this hour after these notes.
Art retirement. Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Guys, On hold, U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
If you owe the IRS, get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All right, the first hour of the Art Lewis Show is done. We move on to hour number 2, and State Representative Tim Beson will be with us to start the hour. But before we get to that, we have news from CBS coming up at the top of the hour, the national and international report. Local news to bring you up to date on the Great Lakes Bay region. Then we'll be back with hour 2 right after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden is getting ready to travel to storm-ravaged parts of New York and New Jersey, where Anthony Kempel's family's home was shredded by the remnants of Hurricane Ida.
The kids' toys is the most heartbreaking, because they really don't understand the magnitude of what happened.
Governor Phil Murphy.
It's homes, it's small businesses, it's infrastructure, in some cases schools, and sadly, 27 losses of life.
Mr. Biden will visit New York City, where at least 13 people died, most all of them in illegal basement apartments in Queens. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Doha, Qatar, where he says the U.S. is working at more flights out of Afghanistan.
I don't know exactly what's going on. They are saying the U.S. is discussing with the Taliban and they will allow you tomorrow.
Women in particular say they're fearful of living under Taliban rule. Correspondent Cammie McCormick is at the Pentagon.
Blinken met with a group of young women who are part of a robotics team. They expressed concern about the coaches and teachers they left behind.
They're all scared. They don't know what's going to happen in the future of Afghanistan.
Blinken acknowledged there are a lot of unknowns.
This is a really difficult moment. There's so much change happening. I can't tell you where everything is going to land.
But he said the international community holding the Taliban to their commitments to allow people to travel freely and uphold basic rights.
Blinken says the Taliban has assured about 100 Americans who still want to leave the country will be allowed safe passage out. As the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks approaches, 5 suspects in the hijackings will be in military court today in Guantanamo Bay. Correspondent Catherine Herridge.
These delays have gone on for so long that I know some 9/11 family members who have traveled to Guantanamo to see the defendants in court and have since died, never seeing justice in their lifetime.
It's been a year and a half since the last military court hearing. Police in Colorado are looking in girl on a ride at an adventure park. KCNC TV's Kelly Worthman.
Agonizing screams are heard in witness video taken from just above the haunted mine drop in Glenwood Springs Sunday night. The painful sounds are believed to be from relatives of a 6-year-old girl who died while on the amusement park ride moments earlier.
Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park is closed pending the outcome of that investigation. Classes are canceled today at Howard University in Washington, D.C. The college is dealing with a ransomware attack discovered Friday. School officials say there's no evidence students' personal information has been accessed. Dow down 2 is CBS News.
Indeed helps you hire great people fast. Indeed delivers 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Update your outdoor living area with Mastercraft General Purpose Concrete Mix. It's perfect for sidewalks, floors, steps, patios, and curbs. Just add water and mix. Right now, all concrete mixes are 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through September 11th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply.
Save big money at Menards.
Powerball is now powered up. This gigantic jackpot game now has new double play, giving you a sizzling second drawing with a guaranteed top cash prize of $10 million after each Powerball draw. How about another jolt of fun? A third draw day to light up your week. Now Mondays too. That's double the chances to win 3 times a week. So plug into Powerball. We're talking big. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. A major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at exergen.com.
Start fall with everything to do business better during Dell Technologies Labor Day event. Save up to 45% on select business PCs with Windows 10 Pro. Power your workday with savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories. Everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Labor Day event.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 66 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Dave Maurer. While many school districts have already started the year, others welcome students to class for the first time this morning. For many, time going to school in more than a year because of the coronavirus pandemic. Students in Oakland and Wayne counties are required to wear masks in school. In the state's largest district, Detroit Public School Superintendent Dr. Nikolai Vitti says the first day is always exciting.
I'm really just excited to see the students back in school, learning, all of our teachers back, and I'm excited to announce that DPSCD is fully staffed. You know, we've never been able to say that. Even people that have been around for decades couldn't recall when that's the case. So not only are we fully staffed on the teacher side, but we've hired an additional 100 teachers to reduce class size.
Vitti is expecting 50,000 students. Detroit teachers and students will be tested for the coronavirus each week. A multiple injury crash occurred in Birch Run Township last night. Saginaw County Central Dispatch reported the crash around 11:45, which happened at Birch Run Road and Dixie Highway. There's no word on how many vehicles were involved or the condition of the victims. On this day after Labor Day, there are a lot of auto workers not laboring. Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
There are an incredible number of vehicles not being built this week, including a lot of pickups. GM's full-size and mid-size pickup lines are down. Ford normally makes on the clock at 2 plants, while only one shift at Dearborn Truck is operating. Stellantis just getting Sterling Heights going this week after a 1-week shutdown. Now the shutdowns are being felt in empty dealer lots and sales that tumbled significantly in August.
WSGW News Time 10:07.
94.5 The Moose and WSGW invite your business to be a part of our 2021 Mid-Michigan Outdoor Expo. Join local businesses and me, Mike Avery, to highlight your products and services, live virtual tours, giveaways, and guaranteed leads. To have your business listed as a Expo, call 989-776-6508 or reserve a spot at WSGW.com. The 2021 Mid-Michigan Outdoor Expo presented by Jay's Sporting Goods.
We're proud to make you and your family proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter?
WSGW News Time 10:08. Bay City will be continuing talks on ARPA funding. Bay City NAACP branch president Darrell Newton will be presenting as commissioners discuss the best ways to utilize the appropriate federal dollars the city is set to receive from the American Rescue Plan Act. Commissioners have already held talks on splitting the money for situations calling for a more immediate use and others which could be followed up with as part of a longer-term grant program or infrastructure plan. Other topics at this week's commission session range from the acceptance of $41,000 for the Department of Public Safety granted by the U.S. Department, several property sale and commercial marijuana license approval requests, and a potential update to city commissioner salaries. A visitor fell from a cliff and died at a park in the Upper Peninsula. The death occurred yesterday at Presqu'îles Park in Mark. I believe the man fell while descending the cliff to take photos. No other details were released. The victim was found in Lake Superior near shore. Efforts to save the man were unsuccessful. At least 2 other people have died this summer from accidental falls at parks in the Upper Peninsula. With students back in class at Michigan State University, there's an ongoing effort to increase and study diversity on campus. Dr. Jabber Bennett is MSU's Chief Diversity Officer. He says there are multiple avenues for students to connect with those that have similar backgrounds.
There are hundreds of student organizations and clubs, some where students will gather based on affinity or their identity. But we also have groups that are just very progressive in thinking about how to ensure diversity, equity, and inclusion broadly.
Dr. Bennett says the university is going to look at the lived experience of students and staff to create programs that increase the satisfaction of everyone on campus. The Boyd jury has convicted a Lansing man of 9 felony charges after a 3-day trial. Jonathan Mullen was arrested after a drug raid in February by the Boyne City Police Department and Charlevoix County Sheriff's Office. A search of the car revealed he had carried an AR-15, a silencer, and other parts to the gun to the vehicle. Another search of his home found ammunition as well as ammunition for a pistol, which was fully loaded in his bedroom. Mullen was previously sentenced for drug and weapon charges. He'll be sentenced in October and could face life in prison. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms possible late today, otherwise increasing cloud cover with a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the southwest around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 30. A chance for showers and thunderstorms here early on, decreasing cloud cover low near 57. By Wednesday, sunshine, high of 75 degrees. Thursday, sunny, high of 73. Friday, plenty of blue skies and sunshine, high around 77. And on Saturday, a slight chance for rain showers here late. We'll see high around 80. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 62.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
All right, welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, and we begin the hour by welcoming back to the program State Representative Tim Beson. Tim, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Thanks for joining us again. I want to start with the state budget. Where is it? Do we have one?
So the state budget's been working with our House and the Senate seats. We worked with it before we took our break, and we got called back 3 times during break, and we were working on it. And it's looking really good from what the House sees. We are set to go with Tom Albert as the head, and we are getting really close.
I guess I have to ask why the delay now. Under the Snyder administration for 8 years, the budget was done in May every year. He demanded it, and he got it.
Yes, and working with Kevin Daly, our state senator, which I work close with, he did explain that. And this is my first budget, Art, and I was wondering why we didn't get that done before we went. And some things just didn't get to the point. And there's also a lot of extra money with like the school aid funding package and the budget, and then now the additional money. So we want to get it right going forward.
Is it being piecemealed? In other words, the school aid funding, has that been passed and signed? Is that done?
Yeah, so that's been passed and signed. So that's all done. The school aid funding is done. And we did some record funding this year. Did great with that. So basically, there's eliminate some of the gaps. So that's awesome. Now, going forward, now we're working on the budget. It sounds like we've been in meetings September. We've been in meetings all the way through August, and all the chairs have been meeting for the last couple of weeks because I'm new, so I'm only like a vice chair to a lot of but I'm learning it as we go, and I get to sit in some of the meetings, and they're pretty amazing to realize like what we need to get done and how we need to be fiscally responsible. That's the key.
Is there a gap between what the legislature wants and what the governor wants?
There are some different things that we are working through. Like some areas, there's a gap, and then other areas there's not. So we're definitely working on everything we agree on first, so we can get that done, and then we can pick away in the stuff we don't agree on, that we get it so that we get everybody gets it's a compromise. And it is 110 reps that all think a certain way, right? And you're trying to get them on the compromise with the House, and then it is.
The herd of cattle.
No, it's working well. Outside, we were ready to go, and that's something that we're proud of. But sometimes it doesn't work like that in Lansing as fast as I would like it to move.
Yeah. Another issue out there: the eviction notices have gone out because the restrictions are ended. But yet there's a whole bunch of rental assistance money that apparently hasn't been distributed. How are we doing in Michigan with that?
Well, that's kind of something that we have been talking about. Like, we are supposed to get this money from the federal and in different areas. And I'm hearing that from my district. I was reached out to a couple different. So I don't understand that process yet. Like how when we approve the money and they say they're getting the money, I just don't understand. And I don't blame a lot of these different districts not doing anything. They're like, well, until the money's in our bank account, we don't want to start doing bids and start doing work for infrastructure till the money's there, which I think is a great idea. But on the same side, I think they gave us some limits on how fast that we have to spend that money. And I just don't get the time crunch that I'm learning that, Art.
Yeah, but that's an interesting comment, Tim. What's the learning process for someone who has never been in the state legislature? You get there in your first term. What's the learning process like?
So I am blessed because I have had an opportunity to come into a position at a certain time, and that my business is a retail meat market, but also that I'm a food guy, and there's a lot of places that are closed down to Lansing to all us reps because nobody is required to go to work at any of the places. So a lot of the opportunity closed down in Lansing. There's only like 3 or 4 left in that area where we all work. Well, where the House works in the Senate. So I've been blessed because everybody has to eat. And if you get tired of Jimmy John's, or if you get tired of the vending machine, then they come and find me, because I always have a crock pot on, like I do all. But you laugh, but it works. And even the rest that I might never walk over to and say hi to, they come into my office, or they come to my spot on the floor, and I share food because I kind of want to know what they think. So
that's a great idea. I love it.
And I got, and we can't have a lot of food there, but we have food in the back. But for a while there, when we went to work, there was no coffee station, no water station. There was nothing. So basically it was what you brought. And sometimes every rep is running on a time crunch, because you're going from one show, right, to one committee meeting, like I'm doing tonight, the Bay City committee meeting, or commission meeting. I have to go there and hit and see what they're doing. And you don't have a lot of time. So when the reps know that they can come to my, and I don't really care, I'm looking for them to be happy when they smile and eat something. They're like, "Hey, Beson, that's really good," and that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, but you can pick their brain at the same time.
Right, and they want to. If they're eating, right, then I get a chance to talk, and when I'm eating, then they get a chance to talk. So it works.
Well, the neat thing, the neat thing about that is, even if it's across the aisle, it's in a friendly confine. Food tends to do that to people. So you don't come in with animosity. They come in with an open arm, so to speak.
And I agree. And I had a great conversation last night at our local restaurant with a great group of young men and women that have actually just graduated college, and they're working at a restaurant right now while they're deciding what to do. And it was have the same beliefs. We don't have the same values, but we can sit and listen to each other, and we need more of that.
Yeah, at least
not yelling back and forth.
So at least they're doing something. They're working. That's a whole nother issue. Let me take a break, Tim. We'll be back. We're talking to Representative Tim Beson, and we will be back with more on the Art Lewis Show after these notes.
So the dream was to build your very own law practice. Be your own boss, call all the shots. But have things like billing, HR, timekeeping, and all the other management stuff turned your dream into a nightmare? Take charge of your practice with Lexicon. We're the intersection of practice management software and legal support services for your firm. And livable hours back. Lexicon marks the spot for all your practice management needs. Visit lexiconservices.com/intersection to get the whole story or schedule a demo.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Fat Matt's Barbecue, Joyce's Purple Palette, Kitchen Kings, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
This back-to-school update is presented by the Exerton Temporal Scanner. In Philadelphia, a group of teenagers are working to educate their classmates about the vaccine. Here's Philly Teen Vax Ambassador, Angelique Kiasan.
There's a lot of false information out there, especially with social media being around, and we're there to spread real information.
Fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. The Exergen Temporal Scanner is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Learn more at exergen.com.
This is the Fox Business Report. There's a merger in the financial world. State Street will purchase Brown Brothers Harriman's business for $3.5 billion in cash. Callaway Golf shares are higher after it has been able to solve some distribution issues. It's also seeing better than expected performance of its top golf business. Callaway is raising its forecast for the current quarter. It has switched from suppliers in Vietnam, where it was having production issues, to other locations. Roger Federer's shoe company, On Holding, is going public, and it's hoping to value the business at more than $12 billion. On was founded in Zurich in 2010, and Federer became an investor in 2019. It's hoped YSE. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda. Invested in you.
This Labor Day is the perfect time to buy an Untuckit shirt. Save 25% on every style we sell during the annual Labor Day sale going on now. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked so you can look sharp even at your most casual. Whether you're going back to the office, working from home, or have no idea, find shirts that look great at work and on the weekend. They're all 25% off for the Labor Day event happening now. So if you haven't experienced the perfect fitting shirt, don't miss 25% off site-wide and store-wide at Untuckit. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
To this station, anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Ground ball to first and hit into the right field corner. Grossman is in. Candelario is in. 2-run double for Nico Goodrum.
The Tigers play tonight at 6:15 on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and we are talking to State Representative Tim Beson. So as you sit there in Lansing, Tim, what do you see as the biggest issue right now facing the state of Michigan?
Labor shortage.
Yeah, okay. I knew you were going to go there. I could have guessed it. How do we fix that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that even the fact of, I'm trying to listen to everybody and understand it. Even in my business, I've even shutting my business down for remodel because I don't have the staff that's required to stay open. And I don't want to get, I don't want to be in trouble for not having the proper aides selling beer, wine, and the proper person without the right qualifications. And I think that the people that are working, we got to figure out to incentive the full-time art instead of the people that have not.
I have said for a long time, I think generationally, we have gotten away from teaching work ethic. And I really believe that. Now, it's a big brush. It doesn't cover everybody. But it just seems that generationally, we don't have the work ethic we used to have.
You are right. And in fact, during this time for the next 3 weeks, where all the college kids are going off to college and our local businesses are really struggling, and they're bringing in a lot of family business. They're bringing their family as soon as they get done from practice, or if they have a day off on the weekend, to work for that one day because people that are working. And that's going to be great. Our 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds that are all learning how to do that work. But we have a gap there of people wanting to work or getting out there.
Is the removal of the $300 federal supplement on unemployment insurance going to do much at all?
Well, let's cross our fingers and say it's going to do a lot. But I think that we've seen in other states, it really hasn't changed too much. And I think, and part of it is because we are in a pandemic. People are really just scared, but some people that are working, they're working 2 and 3 jobs. And these are people that are just getting burned out doing this because the money is good for the people that are out there working. The problem is they feel like they're doing too much, and everybody's getting to the point where that's why my supply chain is collapsed in my business. I can't get the products I need. So this is a great month to take off. before deer season starts up, and I can't get the products I need to meet my bottom line. So at that point in time, you got to ask yourself, what do we do? You know, so it's affecting a lot of small businesses.
The supply chain issue,
Like mine.
and the supply chain issue, of course, is a national and maybe even international. When I talk to someone who is in manufacturing and they can't get the supplies to make the product, and he says, we're just getting by, you know, he says, we barely break even because we can't get enough supply to build the products to make a profit.
And that goes for food too.
And food,
you're right.
yeah.
And that's going food, pop, like, I mean, even like the snacks items and the people that the regular health food, we just can't get what we need to manufacture the stuff that's my biggest burden right now. And all the little shops and restaurants, we're not getting it off the truck. So when we do get something, we order 2 and 3 cases and we're like, yes, we got through. And that's how we're running our businesses in more of a just in time and selling it instead of having anything that's on the shelf that we can sell a week later.
Yeah. If I went into your market, are the shelves more barren than they might be otherwise? Less product?
We lost a lot of, And I mean, right down to propane. Like we sell those little propane, we refill your propane tanks, you know, that's
right.
Exchange like every little, they no longer can't find a driver that wants to work on Mondays and Fridays because I'm open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday up until this last week. And they don't have a driver that wants to work those days. And it's not that I'm not selling them. They just can't find the CDL driver.
Yeah. Well, it's like car dealers. They could sell all the cars they can get if they could get them. They can't get them. It's just, it's just.
There's something to be said about that. You're right about the workforce. We've been talking about that workforce not wanting to work or the lack of like sweat equity, or as my dad used to call it, elbow grease. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And people are not realizing that we have to start there and teach from a young age up, or teach and that's where we need to fix. We need to make it so that way we have workers coming down the pipe.
I tell the story when I grew up, and I grew up in New York City, and I graduated high school at a young age. I was 16 when I graduated high school. The day I graduated high school, I got home, and on the dining room table were work papers for New York City for me and the address of the job that my dad had gotten for me for that summer. There was not going to be any loafing around before I went off to college. And, you know, he always told me, he says, hey, you know, this is the way it is. You work for a living. You owe your employer a day's work and they owe you a day's wage. Nobody gets anything for free. You've got to contribute and they contribute. And I've always taken that to heart. But I just somehow we just have gotten, it seems to me that part of this generation has gotten away from it.
And I agree with you that there are some really good workers out there.
Absolutely.
There are some great workers out there, and maybe I'm a old school, but my kids pay for their phones. Like they pay for things that maybe weren't given to me as a and now it's a commodity, but I kind of think it's still a luxury, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it should be. You know, that's the way it should be. Anyhow.
I still have a job for you making sausage. Whoa. You're not getting off that easy. You're getting close. 4 generations. I'm just saying I could use some more people that are skilled and show up every day.
Or willing to learn even.
That's right. I train.
Yep, absolutely. But and you mentioned something else, showing up. I talked to someone who owned a business. They had 2 openings. They had interviewed 3 people. They hired 2. 1 showed up. And they didn't last the whole time. So, you know, just it's a different world. It's unfortunate. It's got to cure itself. Somehow this has got to get fixed. So, listen, Tim, I appreciate your time as always, my friend. And we hope things go well for you in Lansing.
Thanks, Art. Have a great day.
You too. Take care. State Representative Tim Beson, we thank him for joining us. It's always interesting talking to Tim or others. You talk to small business people, and it is interesting that a small business with 4 or 5 employees is having the same problems as a business with thousands of employees, finding qualified help. And, I go back to teaching work ethic, but there's another thing, and that's teaching the need to get an education. Because the road to success, while for some people is paved with luck, most of it is paved with hard work. Doing what you need to do to put yourself in a position to succeed. Going to school, getting the education you need. And once you get out of high school, that education does not have to be a 4-year college education. Not everyone is cut out for a 4-year college education, but there are lots of alternatives. Go get a skill. Go to one of the many, many schools that teach how to weld, how to do, how to build things, construction work. Go to the unions where they have apprenticeship programs. Go to ABC where they teach construction techniques. There's all kinds of ways to get the skills needed to get a very good paying job. A very good paying job. You don't have to go to a 4-year college, but you do have to put in some kind of effort. Nobody's going to hand it to you if you don't have any skills and you don't have any desire and you don't understand the responsibility you have to your employer to show up for work when you're supposed to be there. It's all part of the game. It's somehow it's gotten away from a lot of people in this country. That's too bad because, this country was built on hard work and innovation. It's been part of the fabric of the nation since its beginning. So this is a changing time, and I'm not sure for the better right now. We're going to take a break and come back. Lines are open for you for the remainder of the hour, 752-6111. Toll free inside the state of Michigan, 866-790-WSGW. Outside the state, 989-752-6111. You can also use that inside the state of Michigan. And we will be back with more on the Art Lewis Show for this Tuesday morning.
Motown legends, the Temptations, the Four Tops. Saturday night, November 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Temps and Tops together again. Tickets start at $34. On sale now at the Soaring Eagle and Eagles Landing box offices or online at etix.com. T&T together again. The legendary Motown sound, November 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Just like ain't no woman like the one I got. Spend part of Temps and Tops at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. The way you do the things you do, the way you do, oh, baby. Motown's Fab Five and Famous Four, the Temptations and Four Tops. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, located inside the Point in Saginaw. The Point, of course, is the former ISD building at M46 and M47. And new to the Point is a brand new coffee shop called Cafe 476. Espresso, coffee, tea, bubbles, lemonades, smoothies, frozen yogurt, and much more, including the Art Lewis smoothie. Yes, I'm on the menu at Cafe 476. It's chocolate, banana, and pineapple water smoothie. It's delicious. Also, delicious baked goods made fresh and local, donuts, pastries, dishes, just to name a few. And food items added daily, like their cherry almond chicken salad croissant, which is absolutely out of this world. I love it. Had it many times. Like them on Facebook, and you can find out about all the new menu items as they come about. The new Cafe 476 in the Point, where M46 and M47 meet, off Gratiot in Saginaw. And, of course, the home of Pinnacle Realty. Linda Shepard, local realtor. It's a local agency, not a franchise. The money stays here, and she really services her clients. If you are looking to sell or buy, residential or commercial, give Linda Shepard a call, 989-295-7713, 295-7713, Linda Shepard. And we thank her for sponsoring the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Going to be an interesting month in Washington, particularly for the Democrats who are staring down a nightmare month because they want to get a lot done, but they don't have the votes to do what they want to do. The progressives are finding out that they can't sway the more moderate factions of the Democratic Party, that they can't get their big items done. They're running into trouble with $3.5 trillion package to expand the safety net in this country with Medicare and government taking care of your cradle to grave. There are some Democratic senators who object to the price tag, and they don't have uniform approval in the House. And there are a number of Democrat members of the House who want to see the hard infrastructure bill, the $1.2 billion infrastructure bill, come up for a vote regardless of what happens to the other part of the package. And now they've been told, it looks like September 27th, they may vote on that package. And the other thing happening, progressives, their tax the rich ideas are beginning to fade because they are struggling for votes. They do not have complete backing in their own party. And they know that they have absolutely no support in the Republican Party. So it's a given going into the Senate that 50 votes are going to be against you. And with a 50-50 split in the Senate, the Democrats can't afford to lose a single vote. And right now they have at least two who say they won't vote for the $3.5 trillion package. So the Democrats are scurrying to try and figure out how to salvage President Biden's big ticket items to really, it would be the biggest social program in history. Certainly since the New Deal, but it would be the biggest social program in history if it were to pass. But they're struggling right now. Struggling indeed. And then they're facing the midterms coming up in 2022, which is why they are in a hurry to get their programs passed, because they fear what might happen in 2022. They may lose one or both houses. Not simply because of what they're doing or not doing, but history shows that the party in power loses ground in the midterms. And they haven't got a lot of ground to lose. They have no ground to lose in the Senate. All they lose is one seat, and they lose control of the Senate. And in the House, it's something like 9, if that. So they're on thin margins. So they have to balance out running for re-election and getting their agenda taken care of. Don't know. I can't predict what the outcome is going to be. I really can't. And I say that because even though, for example, Senator Manchin says he can't support the $3.5 trillion and all of that, what goes on in the back rooms is what eventually changes votes. So who knows what the party will come up with to convince Senator Manchin that he should stay within the stable. Now you have to remember, Manchin represents West Virginia. He is a conservative Democrat. And he's running in a very conservative district. So he can't afford to push extremely liberal policies, or he will lose an election. So in the same way that the progressives want to push their agenda because they're from progressive districts, Manchin comes from a conservative district in West Virginia, and as a conservative Democrat, even though he's liked, he's got to be careful. Politics, I'll tell you, it's in some ways fun to watch, in other ways disturbing to watch. And I am so glad that I never, ever wanted to be involved. I've been offered the opportunity in my career and wisely turned them down because I enjoy what I do and I didn't want to put myself in that kind of a pressure cooker. I don't have the fire in the belly to be a politician. It takes a certain kind of individual. Politics is a nasty game, and unfortunately it's become a game. More so now with social media and the electronic communication that we have today that they never had back in the days of Washington and Jefferson, who were just as nasty, by the way. Let's not forget that. It is not new for politicians to accuse each other of all kinds of things and do it in a very nasty way. It's not new at all. Heck, back in the day, they duel, shoot each other. At least we've gotten away from that. What has changed is communication, the way we learn about it, how fast we learn about it. Back in the day of Jefferson, if something happened, got written up, put on a horse, and 3 days later, if you're lucky, you learned about it. Now, 3 seconds later, you learn about it as it's happening. Everybody all of a sudden is a photojournalist with their smartphone. Very little happens that we don't see and hear about. On the one hand, great to have all that communication. On the other hand, user beware, because much of what is written on social media is unchecked and written with a slant, a point of view. Unfortunately, so is some of the mainstream media today. So make sure you get information from lots of sources, not just one. Let's take a pause, and then we'll be back. Finish the segment of the Art Lewis Show. And as I mentioned, lines are open if you have something you want to talk about.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Savings calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
Lehman's Green Apple Barn is celebrating their 36th annual Apple Country Craft Show Saturday and Sunday, September 11th and 12th from 10 to 4. Over 45 local vendors will be featuring handmade items. You'll find crafters from woodworking, photography, sewing, doll clothes, holiday and garden decor, fresh baked goods, warm donuts, freshly pressed apple cider, kettle corn, concessions, and more. Check out greenapplebarn.com or visit Lehman's Green Apple Barn Saturday and Sunday, September 11th and 12th from 10 to 4. Admission is free.
Start fall with everything to do business better during Dell Technologies Labor Day event. Save up to 45% on select business PCs with Windows 10 Pro. Power your workday with savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories, plus free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Labor Day event.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. News. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express. Rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
September 11th, 2001. Where were you when America was attacked? It was a life-changing experience as the sounds and pictures of the day were heard on WSGW and seen on TV. Now on September 11th, 2021, WSGW presents a CBS News special, 20 Years Later, America Remembers 9/11. This is Saturday, September 11th, starting at 7 a.m. on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
You know what we do, try to make sense of it all and have some fun. Emphasis on having fun.
Then why do you yell so much?
I don't know why.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, and Terry is in Bay City. Terry, good morning.
How are you doing?
Good.
Oh, couple different things. One thing, the election, but the butcher just talked. I think it's a great thing that people in party lines don't have to have a rope around their neck and vote that way, or the party will denounce them, what the Democrats are doing a little bit of, and the Republicans are just, I can't believe there isn't one person in any district that doesn't want to vote the other way. But they can't do it because one person says no. I don't believe that's right.
Well, wait. One person, are you talking about the voters or are you talking about the representatives?
The representatives.
Okay. Well, what happens is they go to Washington or they go to Lansing and they're in their party's caucus. Now, let's understand most of them think alike, obviously, because that's why they ran on that particular platform, that particular party. They are free to vote the other way, but as they learn, there are caucus consequences. Let's put it that way.
Right.
They're free to do it. You can vote the other way, but understand that the party is going to take it out on you one way or another. You're going to lose something somewhere. So it's become.
So you're not. It's not a free vote. Then it's a very penalized one. That's what I'm saying. That's not right.
But it's on both sides. It's on both sides. They both do it.
I agree, but I mean, I said at least some of them are not standing up to the party and doing what's right.
So that's where you have. That's why it's interesting to watch a guy like Joe Manchin in the Senate, because he is doing that. He is standing up and saying, "No, I don't think I'm going to do that." You know, and actually, the thing about it is, you know, he comes from a very conservative district, and he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
So he's in an unusual position.
Okay, number two on this, the mask wearing and all this, and everybody going nuts over it. I mean, how would you like to? They say it's psychologically bad on the kids to wear a mask. Okay, how would what do you think it is on us kids if they come home and they know that they may have been the one that passed on the COVID virus to one of their classmates that died? Is that any
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I mean,
Of course. But what we're doing, you understand what we're doing. We're playing the odds. The odds of that are far less.
Oh.
So we're playing the odds, aren't we? Oh, there have been. Of course there have been. Percentage, well, yeah, but wait a minute now. Percentage-wise, the number of youngsters that have passed away from COVID-19 are infinitesimal compared to older Americans and middle-aged Americans. And we got to be honest in the conversation here. We're not talking about the overwhelming majority. We're talking about the absolute minority, because it is.
But I'm sure this new virus is more.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So I listen. I think they need.
We're also teaching our kids. Well, it'll pass on in other things. Well, just because it's a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit, we can go 120. That's fine.
Yeah,
because we broke the other laws. Why not break them all?
Yeah, but there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that. So that's unfortunately, when you the speed limits have increased because the traffic engineering studies tell you that the speed limits should be in the 85th percentile of what people are driving. But
they're kind of low then right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's they raised the ones, when they raised it to 75 north of US 10 on some of the roads going north. I wondered if that would drastically increase the speed. And the answer is it has not. It may have increased it a little bit, but not drastically, because the speed limit caught up with what a lot of people were doing anyway. So I think most people are driving, in the 75-mile-an-hour zones, it seems to me most people are driving 75 to 78, 79 miles an hour. And then every now and then you get blown by somebody who's doing 90, but you would have done that anyway.
Yep.
So
I agree with that.
All right. Hey, Terry, thanks for calling.
Okay, no problem.
Have a good one. You too. Bye-bye now. All right. Just, to finish up on this, the youngsters in mass and school districts deciding, it has been my opinion that the closer you get decisions to home, the better off you are. I am not against school districts creating mask policies if they've done it in consulting with parents, and you have to have an active body of parents. I think right now, and I will give her credit for this, I think Jennifer Whitmer is doing the right thing by not mandating statewide school mask use. Now, her health department director, Hertel, said it's not out of the question. But Governor Whitmer has said that right now she is not going to implement a mask mandate, leaving it up to the school districts and parents. And I think that's where it should be, because I think that of education anyway. I don't think centralized education departments, state and federal, should be setting the standards for the individual local districts. Bring back the control to the parents where it belongs. All right, take our last break, and then we will come back to close out this edition of the Art Lewis Show.
Powerball is now powered up. This gigantic jackpot game now has new. You a sizzling second drawing with a guaranteed top cash prize of $10 million after each Powerball draw. How about another jolt of fun? A third draw day to light up your week. Now Mondays too. That's double the chances to win 3 times a week. So plug into Powerball. We're talking big. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Frank, it's 3 a.m. What are you looking at?
Well, when we joined DCECU, I didn't know we'd have so many choices. Great loan options, savings products, and these DCECU Visa credit cards.
Visa cards?
Yeah, exactly. Not one, not two, but 3 choices. But I've decided ECU low rate Visa credit card. 6.9% non-variable APR, 0% introductory APR on balance transfers, no annual fee. It's a no-brainer. Except there is this rewards card.
Good night, Frank.
Being a DCECU member has its benefits, including Visa credit card options designed with your spending style in mind. Visit dcecu.org/visa for details. Membership eligibility required. Loans subject to approval based on credit worthiness of applicants. Other limitations may apply. For complete details and requirements, including credit costs and terms, visit dcecu.org/visa or call toll-free 800-835-7794. UA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Your home is the one place where everything should be perfect, including your air. Hartel Heating Company helps you achieve the perfect air you deserve with reliable, groundbreaking, award-winning Lennox products. Call Hartel Heating Company to hear more about how we can help you feel healthier and happier in your home. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. Call us today at 989-892-6111 or visit us online at hartelheating.com. License number 71-03370.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Johnson Farm. Usually the family fun packs run for $35, but at Rocket Grab Plus right now, you can get yours half off for only $17.50. The family fun pack comes with 4 passes to the corn maze along with 2 pumpkins. Opening day is on September 11th, so don't wait to snag your deal at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for this Tuesday morning. Thanks for being with us. Coming up on Focus, I support the 1% Pantry for Veterans will be the subject of our thoughts. They have a big food collection going on at Kroger on State Street in Saginaw Township. We'll find out more about that coming up on Focus. But before that, of course, we'll yield to the news. We have CBS News, which will bring you up to date on the world and the nation, including what's happening with Afghanistan. Then the local report to tell you what's happening in the Great Lakes Bay region and around the state of Michigan. After that, I'll be back with Focus. We'll talk to you right after the news.
Stone Specialist Studios. This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Well.
I'm Steve Kathan. Frustration in the storm zone.
There's not enough hours in a day to get this done.
Well, that man in Queens, New York, facing a monumental cleanup and rebuilding. So do many others after the wallop from the remnants of Hurricane Ida. President Biden is visiting the Northeast today for a first-hand look. CBS News White House correspondent Nancy Cordes says it's a chance for him to tout the big infrastructure.
Just writing this and crafting it is holding the entire Democratic Party together to ultimately pass it, especially when you've already got some Democrats expressing some uneasiness, saying they want to slow things down. A few notable moderates like Joe Manchin of West Virginia.
In Qatar, Secretary of State Blinken said to his knowledge, the Taliban's not stopped anyone from leaving Afghanistan as long as they've got the right documents. Some flights with groups of people have had to wait.
We've been assured again that all American citizens and Afghan citizens with valid travel documents will be allowed to leave.
The by Taliban opponents today in Kabul, there were arrests made. Health officials fear the Labor Day holiday could result in a spike in COVID cases. Pandemic expert Dr. Sumi Ichampati says the Delta variant's a big concern, and it might not be long before a new one called Mu is trouble too.
Houston Methodist Hospital has already found 50 cases of it. The other thing we have to also realize is there probably are lots of pockets of the Mu variant out there that we're just not picking up. The United States has been very slacking to actually detect the genetic phenotyping of a lot of variants.
CBS News investigations uncovered a domestic violence crisis in the U.S. military. Evening News anchor O'Donnell says around 100,000 incidents have been reported since 2015.
There's no doubt in my mind he was going to kill me.
In 2019, retired Master Sergeant Erica Johnson told Air Force leaders she was being physically and sexually assaulted by someone she was in an intimate relationship with.
Domestic violence is, this unspoken bad phrase. Nobody wants to talk about it.
CBS News spoke with nearly 40 survivors who, like Erica, reported abuse to the military.
As we hear from CBS's Vicki Barker, it sounds like our college campuses could use a few good men.
Women now account for 59.5% of all college and high. The Wall Street Journal reports this trend has been going on for 40 years, and at this rate, 2 women will earn a college degree for every man in just a few years.
Well, checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 267 points. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Small business owners know cutting costs without cutting quality is tough. How do you trim expenses without hurting your business? Easy. Call 888-489-2212. Switch to Spectrum Business and you can get the best internet and phone services for half of what you're paying today. Cutting costs can be easy when you get Spectrum Business. Just call 888-489-2212. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less. With Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1980. Covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WS.
Partly cloudy skies and 70 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchuk. The I Support the 1% Veterans Food Pantry holds its annual food drive today at Kroger Grocery Store in Saginaw Township. The food drive has taken place for several years with Kroger and the 919th Army Reserve Unit as partners. This year, the drive comes just days before the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. President and CEO of the food pantry, Judy Adams, says while the food drive is traditionally about veterans, it's also important to remember the first responders who put their lives on the line here at home.
The first responders that we have, police or EMS, they run into danger when everybody else runs away. A thank you once in a while. You see them out somewhere, stand your hand and thank them because it's just not done.
Food drive takes place until 4 p.m. at the State Street Kroger in Saginaw Township. Following a finance and policy session discussing American Rescue Plan Act funds, Bay City Commissioners will be taking a look at a potential $500 annual salary increase for Mayor Kathleen Newsham and each of the other 9 commission members. While the City Compensation Commission is what actually determines the salaries of all elected officials, City Commissioners would still need a resolution adopted by 2/3 of its members and a raise. Talks come after a 2019 charter provision changed commissioner salary to 50% salary and 50% attendance-based pay, effectively reversing a meeting per diem removal from 2003. The raise was rejected at the last compensation proposal in 2019 when the last approved change, passing in 2017 after nearly 8 years of other rejected compensation proposals. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Right now, people are home with their pets more often, and I think especially with the shedding, they're more cognizant of what's going on and that it's an actual issue.
Nala's got some skin issues going and scratching.
Excessive shedding, a lot of just scratching and itching.
Jigging, scratching, and itching and biting. So on top of that, he was starting to get black buildup in his ears.
DINOVITE.com.
I just heard the Dynovite commercial so many times that I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And I ordered it and tried it, and it worked.
We started Dynovite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference, especially with the shedding.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
We've got 4 dogs, all different ages, all different sizes, and they've all just responded really well to the Dynovite, and they all love it.
We will be using Dynovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
We order our Dynovite from Dynovite.com. DINOVITE.com.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. 2 American bulldogs blamed for an attack on a horse could be put to death. The Michigan Court of Appeals has affirmed a decision to euthanize the dogs. The horse was attacked in its barn in Presque County in 2019. The injuries were so severe, the owner decided to euthanize the horse. In a 2-1 decision, the appeals court says there's no evidence any other animal had been in the barn with the horse. In a dissent, Judge Amy Ronayne Krause, she says the dogs might have fought off a wild animal that had attacked the horse. It's Suicide Prevention Week. What can you do to prevent a tragedy? Health reporter Dr. Deanna Lights has this report.
Talking about suicide as well as changes in behavior and mood can be warning signs. Ann Perry is with the Michigan chapter of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. She says, trust your gut.
If we know that something isn't right, most likely it isn't. Talking about suicide to someone who is experiencing suicidal ideation, suicidal behavior, isn't going to make the problem worse or plant any ideas in their head. It will make them feel safe to have that conversation, and then you can talk with them and get them through the next step to, seek professional mental health.
Authorities say a fire destroyed about a dozen classic cars at a restoration shop near Traverse City. Sensors triggered a fire alarm Sunday morning at the shop in East Bay Township. Firefighters were able to save a few cars, but many were destroyed. Grand Traverse Metro Fire Chief Pat Parker says it was sad to see that kind of loss. He said there was no easily accessible water to fight the fire. Water was trucked to the site with assistance from at least 5 townships. No injuries were reported. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It is 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, increasing cloud cover with a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the southwest around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 30. Then for tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms here early on. Decreasing cloud cover low near 57. By Wednesday, sunshine high of 75 degrees. Thursday, sunny high of 73. Friday, plenty of blue skies and sunshine high around 77. Then on Saturday, a slight chance for rain showers here late. We'll see high around 80. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 68.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And a good morning. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis, and today we focus on the I Support the 1% Pantry for Veterans. And we say good morning to a couple of folks involved with it. We say good morning first to Judy Adams. Judy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing well, thanks. And also with Judy this morning is Pat Clark, Pat, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Anyone that drives by the Kroger on State Street in Saginaw Township today is going to see a lot of activity till about 4 o'clock. I want to talk about that, but before we do that, I think, Judy, as we always do, for those that don't know what it is, give everybody an overview of the I Support the 1%.
I Support the 1% is a veteran military food pantry. We only give out food to our veterans and military. A lot of our veterans and our military are struggling, and we're very happy that we're there to help them.
Pantry's been around how long now?
We've been around 7 years. We're out at Harry Brown Airport in Buena Vista.
And have you seen the demand increase for service?
Actually, we've had more homeless vets. We work with the HUD VASH program with VA, and obviously they've had a rise, and they put the homeless veterans in subsidized housing once they get openings, and we had a lot more veterans that were homeless that we're helping now.
And I have to tell you, you do a great service, but it's a sad commentary that you have to do it.
Oh, this should not happen in this country. Our veterans should be number one. They should want for nothing.
Absolutely. Well, today you've got a lot of activities going on at the Kroger on State Street. Pat, what's happening out there?
Well, we had a nice little ceremony this morning. We've got a lot of community support out here today. The Saginaw Township Police were with us, the Saginaw Township Fire Department. We had State Rep Rodney Wakeman and Senator
Ken
Horn was here. And then right after that, we just got to work. We're taking donations out here, food or monetary donations to support the food pantry.
And you've done this before, Judy. Kroger's been a pretty good partner, haven't they?
They started. Without them, we would have really struggled our first year. It took a lot to organize and stuff because we had never done it here before. And we learned from the first year how we could improve and that, and it has so gone.
All right, I'm going to have to take a break here, and then we'll come back and talk more about it. A big event at the Kroger on State Street in Saginaw Township in support of the I Support the 1%. The Veterans Pantry, they're collecting food and monetary donations. They even have a military truck there to try and stuff. We'll tell you more about that when we return on Focus here on WSGW.
You wouldn't pass up 5% more time on the lake. So don't pass up on the potential to improve feed efficiency by about 5% when you feed Enogen corn as grain or silage, as shown in recent feeding trials at leading universities.
Oh, yeah, I got one.
With farm-proven results, you've got yourself a real catch.
Today was a good day.
Enogen. Energize productivity. EnogenFeed.com.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu. A thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will... Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural. Made from sugar beets
Start
grown
fall
right
with
here.
everything to do business better during
What could
Dell
be sweeter
Technologies
than that?
Labor Day event. Save up to 45% on select business PCs with Windows 10 Pro. Power your workday with savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories, plus free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Labor Day event.
Michigan Wolverines football is on WSGW.
Back to throw McNamara. Throwing. Running goes, got it at the 40. Bell at the 10. Touchdown, Michigan. Up the middle, Haskins breaks it over to right guard. Keeps his balance at the 5. Touchdown, Hassan Haskins. McCarthy gets the ball. Throwing all the way across field. Deep to his receiver, Baldwin. Touchdown, Michigan.
It was a good start for the Michigan Wolverines, who beat Western Michigan 47-14 in the season opener. Next up for the Maize and Blue, a Big Ten Pac-10 showdown against the Washington Huskies under the lights at the Big House. Tune in Saturday night at 7 for pregame coverage. Kickoff is 8 p.m. on 100.5 FM. Michigan football is brought to you by Forward Energy, Schaefer and Beerline, Ram Truck and Frankenmuth, Wolfile, Big East Sports Grill, and Lingle Equipment Company. Michigan takes on Washington live Saturday night at 7 on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW.
It's Michigan football all season long on WSGW. This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on Focus here on WSGW. We're talking to Judy Adams and Pat Clark about the I Support the 1% Pantry for Veterans and a big food drive and monetary drive they're having today at the Kroger on State Street in Saginaw Township. So kind of, Judy, if you will set the scene for us, what's there at the Kroger?
Well, we have the 919th Army Reserve helping us. Pat Clark is the Sergeant First Class here. He's the operational sergeant of that unit. And this unit brought out 3 Army trucks. They're doing incredible work helping us out today. So this is exactly when you do this food drive. And we've got a good response so far. People really like meeting the soldiers.
Pat, how long have you been involved in the National Guard?
I'm in the Army Reserves. I'm an active reservist. I've been at this unit off and on for about 10 years. I was active duty when I first came in, and I've been in the Army just about 20 years.
And what drew you to it?
Well, my dad retired from the Army, and he's from Saginaw, born and raised here in Saginaw. Just always thought it was something that I was going to do when I got out of high school, and when I got my opportunity, I decided to join. Unfortunately, right after I got out of basic training was the 9th of September 2001. So,
wow.
I was able to go and support our country and help fight terrorism right away as a 19-year-old.
What were your thoughts back then? I mean, you're in for 2 days, 9/11 hits. I assume you get deployed then, is that right?
Right. So, yeah, I was deployed to Kuwait at first before the war in Iraq started, and then I was in the 3rd Infantry Division, and we crossed the border 2003, and at the time I just thought, hey, we're doing something good for our country, but also, how do I get myself home and my buddies home? I think that's what most soldiers are most concerned about.
Now we have the I Support the 1% Pantry. You're a veteran coming home. Of course, you stayed active in the reserves, but you're a veteran coming home. It's, we all know how poorly veterans were treated back in the Vietnam era. How were you treated coming home after this conflict?
Oh, it was absolutely amazing support. Like I said, retired from the Army, and he was a Vietnam era soldier, and I think it meant even more to him and guys like him to see the support that we've gotten from our communities, because times were just so different back then. I really can't thank our community enough, especially the community of Saginaw has embraced my area in such a great way.
What's happened that we have this group of veterans that seems to be left out almost, whether it's PTSD or what have you. How are we getting to the point where so many veterans need all of this help?
Yeah, I think it's such a multifaceted issue that it's really just hard to tackle. I think that the support is there, but sometimes things like this, what kind of support to give or what's needed.
And Judy, the pantry comes along, and it didn't take very long to find out there was a need, was there?
No, Pat is actually on one of our boards. Him and quite a few of the soldiers from the 919th helped me out tremendously. Without them, I'm just telling you, that unit from day one, without them, our pantry would really suffer.
So let's talk about the needs of the pantry. You're out collecting today at Kroger. First of all, how long are you going to be out there at Kroger?
We're going to be here till 4, unless severe weather rolls in. What we've been trying to watch the weather forecast.
Yeah, well, let's hope it holds off. What are you looking for? What kinds of items are most in need?
The protein items, your beef stew, your chunky soups, canned chicken, canned spam, your chili. Our vets do like their pancakes and syrup. And one thing that every veteran takes in our pantry is coffee, because it's so expensive, and they don't like coffee.
And so, folks can either bring the food there, or they can literally go into Kroger and buy it and bring it out to you.
Correct. We're sitting out here with a bunch of soldiers.
And the goal is to fill those trucks up, but you'll take what you can get, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And
a little bit help.
And monetary contributions, how do they make those?
They can mail a check. It's on our website, the address, or we have PayPal also.
What is
the website? We have to drop the I. It's support the 1%.
And is it the 1 and the percent sign, or 1 and spell out percent?
No, it's the word.
It's the word. So it's support the number 1%. Is that right?
Right.
Support1%.com or .org?
.com.
.com. And they can make a donation right on the site then. Well, let's encourage everybody to come out and help out the cause, either a food donation or a monetary donation at Kroger until 4:00. And Sergeant, thank you for sharing with us this morning. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome, Pat, anytime. Judy, as always, thank you, dear.
Thank you. Have a great one, Art.
You too. Bye-bye now. Support the 1%, folks. The I Support the 1% Pantry at Kroger, collecting food and money today till 4:00. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure. Loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with RoofMax, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Johnson's Giant Pumpkin Farm. Usually the family fun packs run for $35, but at Rocket Grab Plus right now, you can get yours half off for only $17.50. The family fun pack comes with 4 passes to the corn maze along with 2 pumpkins. September 11th, so don't wait to snag your deal at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project, We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
You take steps to stay healthy when at the pharmacy picking up vitamins or filling a prescription.
May I help you?
Take another healthy step right now and ask the pharmacist how Prevnar 13 can help protect you from pneumococcal pneumonia, bacterial lung disease. If you're 65 or older, a trip to the pharmacy is a lot more pleasant than a trip to the hospital because of pneumococcal pneumonia. Help protect yourself with the Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13 valent conjugate vaccine, diphtheria CRM 197 protein. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 13 does not protect against all strains of the disease. Stop by the pharmacy today and ask about Prevnar 13. Learn more at Prevnar13.com. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with a weakened immune system may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional comment information, please call 1-866-694-9300 or visit Prevnar13.com.
All right, that's going to do it for today here on Focus. We thank you for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow with lots more. Coming up after a few notes, Terry Henney's Farm Show. That's next here on WSGW. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Hey everybody, this is WSGW's Pat Johnston. Oh, yes.